We have an employee in the company that we want to give access to the database. She's already in our database, but Jane is our controller and we need to give her access. So it's easy, particularly if they're already in the database, click on Tools, Manage Users. I want to create a new user to add to this list. And while I could create a new user here, she's already in the database, so I want to create a user from Contact. And click Next. I'm going to type in her last name to make it easier to find her in the list, and there she is. Once she's highlighted, I'm going to click Next. I can give her different roles. She could be an administrator, a manager, but most of our users will be standard users. We don't use a password here, so I'm just going to click Next. She will be an active user, and I can determine which things she can do. Jane will be a remote user. She takes the database home to work on her laptop a lot of times, so I'm going to allow her to have remote administration, meaning that she can do maintenance on her own database. I'm going to click Next. If we used a team concept for restricting who could say what, I could easily add her to a team. For instance, we have different teams. She is on the administration team, so I'm just going to click OK. That gives her rights to see certain fields in the database that we've restricted to others. I'm going to click Finish. And now we have a new user in our database. One of the fields that Jane will need to see is the customer ID. It's a restricted field that only certain people can modify, but we've already given Jane the rights to modify that because we added her to the administration team, but it's not on the layout. So we need to add the field to the layout. It's very easy to do. I'm going to select Tools, Design Layouts, Contact. Once the layout displays, you may want to select the field option from the toolbox over here. Kind of draw what the field would look like, about the right size where you want it. Then the Select Field dialog pops up. Select the field that you'd like to add and click Add. The only thing I have to do now is just kind of line it up. I'm just going to select those three and right-click, align the middles to kind of put them in the right. Select these, line it up to the left, format, make them the same width and height so they look a lot alike. That looks a lot better. Now all I have to do is just line up the customer ID here on the left, align left. Voila, now we have a customer ID on the field. I'm just going to save my layout and close the layout. Now the customer ID field is on the layout so that all users can see the customer ID. I know that that field is already populated, so let's look up customer ID contains data. Excellent.